Okay, so we're going to begin, and I'm seeing there's a big old light bulb right behind me, but that's okay. Work it out. I'm gonna do it like this. You got it. Okay, that might be better. Okay, so sorry about the delay, and sorry that we only have about 1 hour left to practice, but that's enough time to get the work in. Okay, so what we're gonna do is have a seat on the floor. And before we start, um, we want to talk about Kemetic yoga. And what we want to talk about is the idea that the name for our not new system, but the name that we've chosen for Kemetic yoga is called Wat Ma'at. And the word Wat, the phrase Wat Ma'at is two words. W-A-T is what, and Ma'at, M-A-A-T, is Ma'at. And that's the word that we've chosen to use for the practice of Kemetic yoga. And so as we move forward, we're going to be using that phrase, Wat Ma'at. And Wat Ma'at simply means the way of Ma'at, because we view Ma'at as being the universal principle that's guiding ancient Kemet. Okay. So we say that the whole social structure, the whole culture, the whole spiritual and metaphysical system of ancient Kemet was based upon this principle of Ma'at. And Ma'at is the order, it's the natural order of things, it's what things are supposed to be. So we're using this term, Wat Ma'at. So we're going to begin by going very briefly into our cleansing breath and then into Sahu pose. So we're going to come on our backs and we're going to separate our feet, shoulders width apart, and allow the back of the head to rest against the mat. Separate the feet, shoulders width apart, back of the head rested against the mat. We're going to find the navel with the index finger and place the right palm right below the navel. On the lower part of the abdomen, we place the left hand on the back of the right hand. We let the upper arms between the shoulders and the elbows to rest against the mat so we can feel the entire body relax. It's very important that we bring our entire body into a state of relaxation. And then we're slowly breathing in through the nose and we expand the abdomen upward. We hold the breath, we open the mouth, and then we slowly exhale out through the mouth. And we breathe in through the nose. And we open the mouth, hold the breath, and then slowly exhale. And breathe in through the nose. Hold the breath, open the mouth, and then slowly exhale. Now we're going to transition into variation 2 of the cleansing breath. So breathe in through your nose. Hold your breath, open your mouth, and then quickly exhale. Close the mouth, reset your body, and breathe in slowly. Open the mouth, relax the throat, release quickly. Close the mouth, reset the body. Breathe in slowly. Open the mouth, release quickly. Close the mouth one more time. Breathing in slowly through the nose. Hold the breath, open the mouth, and then slowly exhale through the mouth quickly. Or quickly exhale through the mouth, not slowly. Sorry about that. Now, take your right hand and place it on the lower part of your chest. Place your left hand on the right hand on the lower part of your chest, your left hand on the back of your right. Allow your thumbs to touch and make a pyramid shape. And slowly breathe in through your nose and slowly breathe out through your nose. Releasing your body, relaxing all the tension from your body as you exhale. You want to feel the weight of your body become heavy against the floor as you exhale the breath. So you're slowly breathing in. The only motion is in your abdomen. You're not breathing into your chest. Your abdomen is expanding as you breathe in. Your abdomen is contracting as you breathe out. And breathing in slowly. Breathing out slowly. And breathing in. And slowly exhale and feel your body relax completely. Continue to inhale and exhale slowly. As you are breathing in, use your mind to visualize the life force that you're taking in from the air coming into your nostrils. Feel that life force connecting with your internal life force that exists 3 inches below your navel. As you continue to draw the breath in, pull the energy from 3 inches below your navel. Bring it up your spine, bring it to the crown of your head, and then bring it to the middle of your forehead. All of this happens on your inhalation, and then hold your breath for 2 to 3 seconds, and then slowly breathe out and gradually send the energy through your arms and into your hands and simultaneously down your legs and into your feet. And allow the breath to create a circuit that touches all the cells and molecules of your body, all the atoms of your body, to facilitate healing, to facilitate innovation, energizing all the cells, all the molecules, all the atoms of your body are receiving the life force that you're taking in through your nostrils. On the inhalation, the energy rises from 3 inches below your navel. It moves up your spine, it moves to the top of your head, it moves into the middle of your forehead. On your exhalation, the energy moves to your arms and into your hands and down your legs and into your feet. And breathing in and slowly breathing out. Releasing, relaxing. Feel the energy moving and circulating through your body. So we want to experience this movement of energy. We want to experience deep relaxation. We want to experience a release of tension from the mind. We want to experience the mind being disconnected from thoughts and not thinking about things from the past or things in the future or anything that has caused us to feel anger or distress or uncertain about anything. We want to release all of those things from us, breathing in and breathing out. And then with the inhalation of the breath, we lift the hands up off the chest. With the exhalation of the breath, we lower the arms down to the floor next to the body. And then we bring the legs together, we bring the feet together, we flex the feet, we lift the head and shoulders, we bring the chin to the chest. We bring the hands up above the thighs. We exhale, and as we inhale, we feel the body rise. And with the exhalation, we bring the hands down towards the knees, releasing the shoulders. And breathe in and slowly breathe out. Breathe in and slowly exhale. And then we cross the legs into sesh pose, variation one, with the legs crossed like this. And this is again on the theme of things they don't want you to know about yoga. One of those things is that yoga has an African origin. The original people of the earth came from Africa. The original people of the earth did not come from India. They left from Africa and went into India. And so when you see people sitting in this position like this is a African sitting position, not sitting Indian style. Okay. And um, so when we sit in this position, we call this sesh pose. The word sesh means scribe. The scribes were people who were priests. They were highly trained and educated people who were architects, engineers, masters of everything. And so sitting in this position, this was one of the positions that they sat in order to write what's called the Badu Netcher, which are commonly today called hieroglyphs. That's the writing of the ancient people of the Nile Valley. So when we sit in this position, we take the hands and we hold on to the front leg and we rotate on the pelvis. We sit all the way up. We use the hands to pull against the thighs and we press the elbows down or the forearms down into the thighs because we want to lift the chest, straighten the back, lower the shoulders flat to let the neck become long and straight. And we keep the tip of the tongue connected to the roof of the mouth so that we can control the life force and the energy, the two strands of energy, the one that runs through the front of the body and connects to the tip of the tongue, and the opposite one that runs through the back of the body goes to the top of the head and ends at the roof of the mouth, at the hard palate. So we breathe in and then we begin to tilt the head halfway back. And with the exhalation, we release the neck and we lengthen the muscles in the throat. We release the muscles in the back of the neck. Keep the shoulders down by holding on firmly to the leg. And with the inhalation, we bring the head up straight. With the exhalation, we lower the head down and we touch the chin to the chest. As we are breathing in, we bring the head up straight. We hold the breath and then we slowly turn the head to the left as we exhale, releasing the neck, releasing the shoulders. As we breathe in, we turn the head back to the center. And as we exhale, we turn the head to the right, releasing the neck, releasing the shoulders, opening up each vertebra of the neck, lengthening the muscles in the neck, releasing tension along the vagus nerve, and opening up all the major blood vessels that run through the neck and the throat. Now turn the head back to the center. Take your right hand and place it underneath your left knee. Take your left hand and place it in the back of your right hand. Turn your chest and shoulders square with your thigh. So both hands underneath your knee. Breathe in. I want you to exhale, contract your abdomen, and lead your chest to your thigh. You go into the position with your exhalation. Take your arms and wrap them around your leg. Breathing in, slowly breathing out. As you breathe in for your abdomen expand, as you breathe out for your abdomen contract. Let go of your leg. Rise as you breathe in and turn to your right. Exhale your hands underneath your right knee. And then breathe in and lift your chest and flatten your back. And as you exhale, lower your chest towards your thigh. Wrap your arms around your leg and bring your chin all the way to your knee as you exhale. Contract your abdomen. Now breathe in. Slowly breathe out. Let go of your leg. Breathe in and rise, coming to the center. Exhale, both hands around your knees from behind. And with your inhalation, lift your chest and flatten your back. Lead your chest towards the floor as you exhale. Contract your abdomen, suck your belly in, fold your body in half, flatten your spine, release and let go. As you breathe in, extend your arms forward. As you exhale, put your palms down flat to the floor. Release your neck, release your shoulders. Now breathe in, slowly breathe out. As you are breathing in, rise up. Keep your arms next to your ears, your hands above your head. Bring your thumb and forefingers together. And with your exhalation, release your arms from the shoulders and let your wrist come down to your knees. And then breathe with your eyes closed, the tip of the tongue connected to the roof of your mouth. Visualize drawing energy up your spine as you breathe in, bringing that energy like a serpent to the top of the head and then into the middle of your forehead between your eyebrows. On your exhalation, visualize that life force moving through your arms and into your hands, moving down your legs into your feet simultaneously, creating that microcosmic orbit of life force, which is energizing all the cells of your body, all the molecules of your body, exciting all the atoms that make up your body. Breathing in, slowly breathing out. Okay? Now, another thing that they don't want you to know, they don't really teach you about yoga, is that the whole purpose of doing movements and postures is to facilitate the process of meditation. Okay? So we do movements and postures in order to prepare ourselves for meditation and to bring the body and the mind into a state where they are more amenable to going into meditation. So what I want you to do now is to uncross your legs and bring your legs out in front. You're going to stretch your toes back and forth. Squeeze them back and forth. Stretch them out. You want to bring flexibility. What we're going to do next, we're going to work on opening up the toes. We want our toes to be like little fingers where we can pick up marbles and stuff off the floor with our toes, right? We want to have dexterity in the toes, just like we have dexterity in the hands and our fingers. And we're going to shake out the knees, okay? Now, before we go into the next pose, which is going to be Sesh Pose Variation 2, we're going to go into a forward bend. So in this position, we're bending, we're keeping the legs straight, flexing the feet, and then after we flex the feet, we allow the thigh muscles to contract. Then that allows us to be able to bend the knees slightly and then place the hands in the back of the knees and then sit up onto our sit bones. We take the arms, extend them out to the side. We rotate our arms from the shoulders. And as we are breathing in, we lift the arms up to 3/4 of the way. As we exhale, we bring the hands together. As we inhale, we turn the arms forward. And as we exhale, we release from the lower back, through the middle back, through the upper back. And we grab hold of the feet and we put the head down. We put the chin down towards the chest. And we breathe in and we slowly exhale. Inhale and slowly exhale. Now let go of your feet. Inhale yourself up, arms above the head, hands above the head. Put your legs flat. Now hold your breath. Slowly exhale. As you are exhaling and moving, feel the energy move through your arms and into your hands, and simultaneously down your legs and into your feet. It is that movement of energy which is what you want to obtain from your practice of yoga. You don't want to just stretch. You want to feel the energy moving through the energy channels of your body, nourishing all the cells and so on and so forth, right? And so that, again, that is another secret of yoga that they don't really teach you, because they teaching you just how to stretch, but they're not teaching you how to move energy and life force. That's why we have to keep the tip of the tongue connected to the roof of the mouth so that we can lock in that energy and keep that life force and energy that we're generating from dissipating and escaping, into different directions. Now we're going to come onto our hands and knees, and we're going to go into Sesh Pose Variation 2. So again, this is another reason why we say yoga does not have an origin in India, but it has its origin in ancient Africa in the Nile Valley in this place called Kemet. Because when we look at the artifacts that are older than any artifacts we see in India, we see people sitting in this position. People sitting in this position, the images, I would say there are millions of images of people sitting like this, with the knees bent, the toes bent, and sitting down with the buttocks to the heels and the hands on the thighs. So let's do that. Bend your toes. You can't bend your toes. What's wrong with you? Use your hands to control the weight and then gradually introduce the weight into your toes, opening up the ligaments in your feet. So you want to feel the ball of your foot touching the floor. You want to feel the bottom of your toes becoming flat against the floor. You want your toes to bend at a 90-degree angle, and you want to increase the arch in the bottom of your foot. You want to lengthen your Achilles tendon. These are some of the reasons why they sat in this position. And then the shoulders relax and the hands rest upon the thighs. But what is a hidden reason why they sit in this position that they don't want you to know about, that they don't tell you about because they don't really even know? That this position stimulates the reflexology points in the bottom of the feet that correspond from your throat up to the top of your head. And so reflexology points are points in the bottom of your feet that when you stimulate them, they affect the internal organs and different systems within your body. So that's what's called reflexology. And we see evidence of reflexology in the ancient Kemetic record, where we see people massaging another person's foot, placing the thumb into those points on the bottom of the foot to stimulate circulation and to facilitate healing. Okay. So when we sit in this position, we are stimulating those reflexology points from here to here. And so those reflexology points are points that are going to stimulate your mind's ability to be creative, to be analytical, to have focus, and to have concentration. Okay. So that's why they sit in this position. They train themselves to be able to sit in this position comfortably for hours at a time, to write the Madu Nature, to write the hieroglyphs, to write the sacred knowledge, the sacred writing, okay, the spiritual text. This is one of the positions that they sat in. So we call this sesh pose, variation 2. The word sesh, S-E-S-H, means priest. It means scribe. A priest who is a scribe, who writes. That was their job. So when we breathe in, we raise the arms up. When we exhale, we come onto the hands and knees. And then we want to gradually take the weight off the toes, wiggle the toes around. When we do this position, we don't have to sit here for hours and hours at a time. We just want to gradually introduce these poses into the body, open up our ankles, open up our toes, stimulate those different points, those different reflexology points, and restructure our toes, restructure our feet. We want to correct our feet. Another benefit of this pose is that it's going to correct your bunions. It's going to correct your fallen arches in the bottom of your feet. It's going to correct the structure of your ankles. It's going to do a lot of different things over time. It's a gradual change that you're going to see in the structure of your feet and your ankles. So now we take the feet and we straighten it, we straighten the toes, and we place the top of the foot. The top of the foot is called the instep. We place the instep towards the floor. We take the hands and turn them backwards. We reach back, we breathe in, and as we exhale, we take a seat. And we take a seat and we sit down and we open up the feet, open up the ankles in the opposite direction. We lift the chest, we lower the shoulders. Then we place the hands. So this is called what? Sesh pose, which one? Variation 2. Variation 3. And when we put the hands like this is called mare. Mare means pyramid. So we place the hands here. And then we transition from sesh pose variation 3 into mare mesu heru. So mesu heru means child pose. So it means pyramid child pose. So we breathe in, and as we exhale, we lower the chest to the thighs. We bring the forehead down towards towards the mare, or the so-called pyramid that the hands are making. Okay, we breathe in, we exhale, we release the shoulders. We inhale, let the abdomen expand. We exhale and let the abdomen contract. So we want to hold this position and we want to feel the abdomen expand and contract against the thighs, stimulating the organs of digestion and elimination. Then after your last exhalation, push against the floor and lift up. Straighten your arms and let your arms rise. And as you exhale, come up onto your hands and knees. Okay? And once you finish those 3 variations of your sesh pose, Then we transition after variation 3, we transition into our sun salutation, beginning with the lunge on the left leg. So that means that the right foot has to come forward. And now we're going to challenge the toes a little bit further. We bend the toes of the left foot and we lift up, stimulating those reflexology points in the bottom of the left foot, increasing the arch in the bottom of your left foot. Now breathe in, exhale, your right knee down, and then point, not your right knee, point your left knee down, point your left foot, and you place your arms underneath your right thigh. And with your inhalation, you rise, breathing in as you come up, your palms face each other. And as you exhale, you put your hands together. As you inhale, you put your left hand to the back of the right. And as you are exhaling, lower your hands down to your right knee. Now, from here, you're going to breathe in. And as you exhale, you are lengthening your left thigh. So this area in the quadricep muscle and the hip, the pelvic area, that's where you want to feel the opening. So we call this position half split. So you want to open up all of the different blood vessels, the ligaments, the different muscle groups, stimulate the different nerves that run through this area of your body. This movement enhances your reproductive system, all the functioning of all your reproductive organs. So from here, we breathe in, we lift the chest, and as we exhale, we push against the knee, arch the spine, and we let the hair go back, release the neck and shoulders. And then we bring the head up, we lower the chest to the thigh, we separate the hands, and we ease the hands back down to the floor. Okay? So when we go into those movements, we go into them with complete um, abandon, so to speak. I want you to go into them without no hesitation. I want you to go as far as you can go comfortably. And if you're not comfortable, I want you to learn how to use your breath to exhale yourself into the movement to cause you to go from a point of uncomfortableness to a point of being comfortable. To become comfortable means that you have to use your breath. Now let's change legs. We're going to repeat the same thing on the opposite side. Okay? And most of the time when you are doing poses like this in yoga classes, they don't really tell you all of the full benefits of them. But that's what we're going to work. That's what we're going to learn. Take your left foot, bring it forward. When we bend the knee at this is called a 90-degree angle, right? We bend the knee at the 90-degree angle. So if you're a person who has knee issues, you don't want to bend your knee like this to have a therapeutic effect upon your knee. You bend it no further than 90 degrees so that you can strengthen the muscles that support the knee. The knee itself doesn't have any muscles. Okay? So from here, we bend the toes of the back foot, which is the right foot, and we lift up. We want to check our angles. We want this back foot to be perpendicular to the plane of the floor. So you have to bend your toes, madam, point that heel, get that heel to go straight up. And you got to accept the stimulation to your toes because we're changing the body. The only way to change your body, you have to breathe through the challenge that you're placing upon your body. And so notice that this left leg is at a 90-degree angle. That left thigh, left hip, left gluteus muscles, all becoming stronger. Now we gently place the right knee down to the mat. We point the right foot, we place the instep down. Now we place the arms underneath the left thigh, and then we breathe in as we rise up. And as we exhale, we bring the hands together. This movement is called what? Kneeling check-in. So we're kneeling and we do the check-in. We inhale the left hand to the back of the right, and we exhale, release the shoulders and place the hands down to the left knee. Now we're going to transition from kneeling check-in into half split. So this is half of a split. So we don't bend the knee past the ankle. We just put all our emphasis here. We keep the upper body straight, and we go straight down. Open up that thigh and that hip, because we want to get that therapeutic effect in that area of the body. And then once we go down this direction as far as we can go, then we're going to add the next angle, which is the backward arch. So we breathe in, we lift the chest, we exhale, we arch the spine, we let the hair go back. We bring the head up, the chest down, separate the hands and ease the hands down. And then we bring the left leg back. We bring the thighs together. We breathe in, and we're going to bend the knees all the way. Sit your buttocks all the way to your heels. Sit all the way down. And then once you sit down as far as you can, then bring your chest to your thighs, and your forehead goes down towards the floor with your arms extended. Lifting your arms. Keep your elbows and forearms off the floor. And breathe in. Slowly breathe out. And then breathe in. And as you exhale, transfer your weight into your hands. As you inhale, lift your upper body. Exhale, lock the strength into your arms, your chest, your shoulders, and your back. Now breathe in. Deep inhalation. Slow exhalation. Fold your toes. This is called Wajet. It's not upward facing dog. It's called Wajet. Wadjet. Wajet is a cobra. Fold your toes underneath your feet. Bring your body parallel with the floor like you're doing a push-up. Inhale and push your hips up. Walk your left foot forward about 4 inches. Walk your right foot forward about 4 inches. When you exhale, push backwards and try to get the heels of your feet to come down towards the mat. And as you breathe in, you rise up to the balls of your feet. You exhale your knees down to the mat. You bring your head up. I want you to look forward. So when you come, it's very important. When you come up to here, bring those knees down slowly and get that stretch in your toes and that opening in the arches of your feet. Then lift your feet and point your toes. Place your insteps down. And we're going to transition into Heru Im Akit. That is what the other people call a sphinx. First step, bring right hand back about 2 inches in front of your right knee. Your left hand comes back about 2 inches in front of your left knee. And then sit your buttocks all the way down to your heels. Push against the floor and lift your chest and keep your back straight. Be able to look forward. This is what we call cheetah. Then take your left forearm, bring it down to the mat. Take your right forearm down to the mat. Make sure both of your arms are parallel with each other. So this position is called Heru Im Akit. It's what the other people call a sphinx. This is obviously a very ancient Kemetic yoga posture. We breathe in, we breathe out, We release and we relax. When you do this position, you don't want your head to be down like this. You want your head to be up. You want to be able to look forward. When you look at the actual Heru Akit and Kemet, what you are looking at is the statue is watching the sun rise on the eastern horizon, and it's coming up in the constellation of Leo. That's why he has the head of a human and the body of a lion, because he is, for many different reasons, but he's representing the constellation of Leo. So it's a lot of metaphysical and astrological, astronomical parts of that symbol. Now from here, we're going to transition from Heru Imhakit back into Wajet. So we take this, we spread the finger to the left hand, we extend. We extend the right hand, we breathe in, we keep the elbows up. We're going to keep the nose about 1 inch from the floor. And as we exhale, we go forward into the hands. As we inhale, we lift up. You got to go through all the way through. Don't cheat me now, brother. Lift the chest, arch the spine. Now fold your toes underneath your feet. Come into this position. Inhale and push your hips up. And we're going to transition into the position we call Nut. Nut represents the sky. Take your left foot, bring it about 3 or 4 inches forward. Your right foot comes forward. And when you exhale, push backwards against the heel of your hands and try to get the bottom of your feet to come flat. Try to get your heels to come flat until you can feel the lengthening in the muscles in the back of your legs and in your spine. As you breathe in, come up into the balls of your feet. Exhale your knees down to the floor. Then bring your head up, point your toes. Now breathe in, and as you are exhaling, ease back into Mesu Heru. Remember, Mesu Heru is what we call our child pose. Okay? So relax and release. Breathe in, slowly breathe out. And then let's rise up onto the hands and knees. And let's take a seat into Sesh Pose Variation 1. Okay? And so now we went through a process and you learned a lot of the names that they don't want you to learn. We didn't say none of the names that our ancestors gave to our postures. We said none of the names in Greek. We said them all in the original Kemetic language so that you can understand what they mean. When you say words in Greek, you are not really getting the meaning of what they actually represent. So it's important that you learn, at least to learn the rudimentary rules of the language of ancient Kemet, that you learn the basic names of the Neteru. We don't use the word gods and goddesses. If we say it in English, we say the divine forces of nature, or we may use the word divinities, but we don't say gods and goddesses, right? So we're talking about these forces of nature because we're talking about what we are experiencing, what we are seeing. We're talking about it from a scientific perspective, not just from some kind of superstitious thing where some particular god is going to get angry at you or punish you and all that kind of stuff, right? So we're talking about the science of nature. How does nature operate? How do we interact with those forces of nature? Okay, so those are the things that we're talking about. So this is the essence of Kemetic yoga, as opposed to talking about other things. In Indian yoga, They have different names that they talk about in Sanskrit. So you might do the warrior pose, and they tell you to do like this and stand like this for a long time. And they say that Krishna, who is one of their deities, that's they use the word deities. They say that Krishna's wife got killed by somebody, and then he got angry, so he practiced the warrior pose to make himself strong so he can go and avenge his wife's death. We don't have no stories like that in Kemetic yoga. You know, we have more uplifting type of stories, you know. And so that's why we do yoga from an African perspective and not from a perspective of other people from other cultures who came much later than our culture developed. Okay. So what we're going to do next, we're going to go into the level one of the pose of He. So I'm going to use his name, He, H-E-H. And He, the word He, H-E-H, means eternity. And so we call this particular posture the pose of immortality. And so this pose is the seminal, basic, most fundamental, most iconic pose posture of Kemetic yoga. It looks like this. This posture is not seen at all in Indian yoga. This is a purely ancient African posture, okay? But because a lot of people may not be ready to sit all the way down on their knee and their ankle, we have made a modification to this posture. So I want you to come up onto your hands and knees like this. And so we're going to go into the modification, and we're going to do that until the class is over. We only got a few more minutes left. We're going to take the right leg and we're going to put the right foot in this position. Notice um, the angles of your body. Notice the shapes and forms. Notice the geometry. That's the word I'm looking for, geometry. Who created it? Who created geometry? Who wrote the first geometry book? Africans did. People in ancient Kemet created geometry. It wasn't some Greek person. It was our ancestors. So they understood the science of angles and shapes and form. And so our bodies are simply a series of shapes and forms. All of these shapes and forms that our bodies are able to assume has a significance to them. So when we come here, we want to then place the hands on the knee, and we want to come all the way up and lift the chest. And you want this thigh to be what? Perpendicular to the plane of the floor. Remember your geometry from high school, right? You got the term perpendicular. That means it's a straight line. The floor is a plane, okay? The back leg is parallel to the plane of the floor. This part of your leg, the thigh, is perpendicular to the plane of the floor. And this leg, this right leg is making a right angle, okay? So then we bring the hands here in front of the chest, and we breathe in, and with the exhalation of the breath, we turn the body to the left. We isolate the upper body from the lower body. The legs do not change. Each area of the spine, from the lower back to the middle back to the upper back, is changing. Each vertebra is turning. Then we bring the fingertips together with the palms facing the chest. And as we breathe in, we open the arms. As we exhale, we make fists with the hands. And then we breathe in. And then we're going to slowly turn the head to the right to open up all the vertebra of the cervical spine, which we call the neck. So we open up the neck, stimulate all the glands and organs in the throat. On the inhalation, bring your chin over your chest. Exhale and turn your head and look to your left, look behind you. Stimulating glands and organs in your throat, opening up the blood vessels, stimulating the nerves. Now turn your head back to the center and inhale your body back to the front. As you exhale, open up your fists and bend your arms and make a right angle with your arms. We call this position shu. Shu represents the idea of raising, separating the earth from the sky, the heavens. The heavens is called Nut. She was a female principle. The earth was called Geb. He is a male principle. In the beginning of creation, they were together. And then Shu came and separated them. And so Shu is the atmosphere. Shu is the air that we breathe. Now, slowly bring your palms together as you exhale and let your hands come down to your knee. So now you have an understanding of some of the metaphysical principles that we're operating from in Kemetic yoga. Okay? We have stories, we have our own ways of communicating sacred knowledge, but we have to give ourselves credit. Okay? We have to stop going to all the Indian stuff and most of the stuff that they call Indian yoga. It comes from California, it comes from London, and it comes from Stockholm. Stockholm is in Sweden. So they influence why they do so much gymnastic type of stuff. Okay. Now let's switch legs. So they're doing all this stuff. They call it another Ashtanga. They call it Iyengar. They call it Vinyasa. Most of that stuff is not nowhere in no ancient text. Okay. This is all new stuff that came from Europe, came from California. Take your left leg, put your left leg forward. We're going to repeat the same thing on the opposite side. You see that our poses are geometrical. Our poses are seeking alignment. Our poses are seeking the movement and the flow of energy and life force, not simply stretching. Okay? So everything we do is in infinite coordination with the breath. We're not just saying inhale, exhale, but we're trying to move in precision with the breath. So when we bring the hands here and the palms are in front of the chest, we slowly breathe in, keeping the tip of your tongue connected to the roof of your mouth. And then we slowly exhale. We're going to coordinate the turning of the body with the exhalation of the breath, releasing the vertebra of the spine. And then we bring the hands in front of the chest, fingertips touching together. And then we have a precise inhalation that opens up the arms. So we slowly breathe in and we open up the arms. And we slowly exhale and we make the fist. And then we breathe in again. And as we slowly exhale, release the neck, release the shoulders, open up the throat, stimulating the glands and organs in the throat. On the inhalation, turn your head back to the center. On the exhalation, turn your head and look to your right. Turn all the way, release the neck, release the shoulders. Now bring your head back to the center of your chest. As you are breathing in, turn your body to the front. As you open up your hands, exhale and bend your arms into Shu. Now breathe in and slowly visualize a big ball of energy between your palms. You're taking that energy and you're gradually exhaling, compressing that energy between your palms. and then lower your hands down to your knee, and then take a seat. Okay? So again, everything we're talking about are things that they don't want you to know, because these things, when you really get into the science of yoga, what yoga is really about, you start to get into things that are going to empower you. The whole point of the transatlantic slave trade, the whole point of the invasion of Africa from those people from the north, was to deculture, take away our culture, to take away our mind, to take away our consciousness, so that we would be more malleable and able to be enslaved. So when you go to Egypt today, when you go to ancient Kemet today, they don't speak the language. They speak Arabic. Okay? They don't practice this stuff. If you go to one of the temples and you try to sit down and practice some yoga, the guards there are gonna try to make you stop. Okay, they don't want you to know about this kind of stuff. You know, when you be on Facebook and Instagram and places like that, you put out information about this kind of stuff, they call you Afrocentric. Like it's a bad word to be Afrocentric. And they said you trying to take our culture. They said that you from West Africa, that you're not from Kemet. Your ancestors didn't come from Kemet. Your ancestors came from Nigeria and Ghana and places like that, right? But they so stupid that they don't know that our ancestors moved into Kemet from Southern Africa, from Central Africa, and sometimes even from Western parts of Africa in very, very ancient times. They moved up the Nile River from the south, and they created this place called Kemet. Kemet was created after they had Nubia, after they had Kush, after they had other Nile civilizations within the Nile Valley. The Nile Valley is over 7,000 miles long. So there were civilizations there long before there was even Kemet. So Kemet is the flower of the civilization. It's not something that just popped up out of nowhere. Those people that came from other parts of Africa created Kemet. And then when the Arabs came and they started trying to force everybody to become Muslims, when the Greeks came, when the Romans came, and they tried to conquer down into Kemet, and they tried to conquer into Nubia and into Kush, a lot of people left out of the Nile Valley and they went to West Africa. So if you go to Ghana today and you talk to your brothers and sisters who are Akan people, they would tell you the stories of their ancient ancestors. They came from Kemet. They came from the Nile Valley. When I had my DNA done through what is it, Africa? What is it? Through African ancestry, they showed that my mother's line came from a Tikar people who today live in Cameroon. When you look up the Tikar people, how did they get to Cameroon? They left out of the Nile Valley and they went to Cameroon to escape Islamic and European enslavers. Okay? So our ancestors come from the Nile Valley. We have more rights to claim ourselves as coming from the Nile Valley as any of these Arabs who come from Saudi Arabia, who come from Syria, who come from Lebanon and all these other places. These places have nothing to do with ancient Kemet. Those people are invaders. A lot of those people came in the 1800s, so they don't have nothing to do with Kemet. So these are part of the things that they don't want you to know, because when you know this information, you become what? Empowered. Okay. So let's go forward. Let's say what Ma'at al Uja Sanel. With our eyes closed and with sincerity, we give thanks and praise to the Creator and to our ancient ancestors who have revealed to us this knowledge of rejuvenation and revitalization. So as we step into the future with the knowledge from the past, our breath will be able to flow long, slow, and deep to bring rejuvenation, revitalization, balance, and harmony to the mind, the body, and the spirit. Hotep. Okay. So practice daily. I've been practicing this stuff for 51 years. That's why I can sit up here and still do this stuff that a lot of people be talking about they too old to do.
Tip.
Okay.
Yep.
Hotep.
Yeah. It was amazing.
Yes, I love